Before the break, we were going to show you the matinee demo, so let's go ahead and just do that, and then we're going to take some questions and hopefully give you some good answers.
Cool. And while Jeremy's doing this, we wanted to give a big shout out to our producer, Tanya, who is the one who keeps all of us from just bursting into flames and going horribly wrong. Tanya and Bobby, and welcoming the wonderful baby Penny. We are so happy that we are going to have another producer working on Fortnite. Yeah. We are so excited. So congratulations, guys. We cannot wait to meet the newest addition to the family.
All right, so let's check out the matinee. This, again, is our cinematic tool. This was done by, I think, one cinematic guy and one animator.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's really, really cool.
So this is real time. This is playing real time.
Right, yeah, I just hit play. It's playing real time. It is not a movie file. Yeah. It is real time in engine.
This is Pi. This is playing in editor. Oh, and you know what's scary about this, what I learned? Like, so Steven Superville was one of the guys that they mocapped. I've always kind of given Steven some crap. I didn't realize he could kill me with the things. Like nothing, with nothing.
He I think he was like the protagonist where he's just killing everyone.
So, Steven, all those bad things I said, I didn't mean them. I really didn't mean them.
But yeah, the environments are awesome.
But look at all of that. That's absolutely amazing. You'll notice cloth. The lighting, like
yeah, we got cloth in here.
It's absolutely phenomenal.
The effects, the particle effects, the actual.
And that was right in his back.
Yeah. Whoops.
So we should have given a you know,
rated T.
Rated T. So, but yeah, I mean.
And if you actually want to take a look at the matinee real quick.
But one of the great things about this, like gives you the example, like you looked at Flappy Bird, or the Tappy Chicken. You saw Tappy Chicken, and then you saw this, and you see the
how it's put together,
on, it is the entire spectrum of what's capable with the tool set, right? You have everything from the most simple, like I have an idea, what is the most effective way and efficient way for me to get it into a game, all the way through to, holy crap, that's playing real time.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. Matinee, it looks a little bit daunting at first, but this is a very complicated cinematic. It was actually a couple minutes long. So we've got all the shots. We have what animations each person is playing at any given time. We can see what character is what track here. So like, who is Trooper Main? Let's hide all the stuff. So Trooper Main is the guy we have selected there. Yeah, and we have all our characters down here. It's just pretty cool. You want to get into the questions?
Yes, okay. We're going to talk. This is from Dampty, asks, is it possible to create new blueprint nodes in the source code?
Absolutely, it is awesome, yeah. So source code is C++, and your programmers can create new blueprint nodes that are specific to your project. And you know, like ideally, once the marketplace opens up, we could have those new blueprint nodes that people create actually up for sale. You know, maybe it's something really cool. I know on Fortnite we have a bunch of custom blueprint nodes that we're using. So yeah, it's totally possible. You can definitely do that. In fact, it's not just blueprint nodes. Well, because our animation blueprint is the same system as our blueprint, which is the same system as like all that stuff is tied in together.
Yep.
So you can make new animation nodes, new skeletal controls, which are things like IK and all that kind of stuff, and which we do that a lot too. So what else we got?
That immediately falls into Slateboard. Will there be user-created and shared blueprints?
Perfect, yes.
Yes.
So once the marketplace opens up to the public, I mean, yeah, you can definitely submit your own blueprints. It could be like what we showed earlier, where it's just something simple like a static mesh with a light and a trigger and all this kind of cool stuff, or it can be something really, really crazy. Like Tappy Chicken, the whole game is in a blueprint.
Yes,
and you just drag it into the level and then you're done.
Yep. So we got from Lipkin. Phonetics are a wonderful thing, yeah. How often will you update the engine? Every month or so, question mark?
Yeah, so that's definitely the hope, is that we'll have a new kind of stable release every month, but because the source code is on GitHub, I think, not right now, but I think the goal is to be able to, almost real time, like you'll have our current changes.
Whatever the current build is, you will have access to that, and it'll tell you, like these are the things that are going into this. So it is as a living project as you can possibly get. You are, you know, the point, you know, the intention is you are working with what we're working with.
Right.
You have all of the cool things that we have.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what we're using on our own games.
So let's see. Okay, we've got Realistic. Oh, that's funny. Can you search commented areas of the Blueprint graph?
I believe you can.
What's awesome is we found this out like a minute ago.
Yeah, so you totally can. I made a test blueprint over here. I just made a simple event. If I hit the F key, it plays a sound. I don't actually have any sounds hooked up. And I just made a test comment. I want to see, can I actually search for comments? And if I go to edit, or where was it?
Was it edit search?
Edit search,
There you go.
Control F. We can actually type in like test. And then it gives us our nodes, and then it selects it.
Boom.
So you can actually get your box of, like if we went, I don't want to open up Tappy Chicken right now because it takes a couple minutes.
Yeah.
And I'd like to get more questions. But yeah, you totally can search for comments and stuff, which I didn't know, and I learned it over the break, so that's awesome.
That was, it was awesome. You were like, yeah, you can. You can do that.
Yeah.
Okay, also from Realistic, is there a list view for the Blueprint nodes, excuse me, that would let you search and focus on them in the graph view, similar to the outliner in Maya?
Right, so I think if I'm understanding the question right, you're asking that if I had, so I have a visual representation of the nodes here, which we could consider our Maya viewport in a way.
Yeah.
And do I have a list somewhere of all the nodes that are in my viewport? Currently, I don't think we do,
but that's
a really, really good
awesome idea.
And you should definitely hit up the forums and suggest that. And because the source code is up there, someone can definitely feel free to do that and pass it out or whatever. I mean, that's hopefully what we're trying to build here is a really tight community where people can see things that they want and find people to do them, or wait for us to get to them.
Yeah.
But that's a great idea. You should definitely hit up the forums for that one.
The fact that this will just like exponentially grow the people that can make all of the cool things, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not you're not gimped in any way. It's not like you have this thing that lets you do a whole bunch of cool stuff, but not all of the cool stuff. It's the source code. The source code, like Unreal Engine source code, is this beautiful and elegant thing, and for anybody to be able to get in there and just put their flavor in it and be completely liberated to get their hands dirty, make the stuff that they might not necessarily see in there. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see what people do.
The other thing about making adjustments to the source code, you are not obligated to submit those to us. You don't have to share them. Mm-hmm. You can make your own little personal thing.
It'd be cool if you did.
It would be awesome if you shared it, but you definitely don't have to. So there's nothing in the end user license agreement that says that you have to, anything you change needs to come to us. That's, the end user license agreement, which you can view on unrealengine.com, is actually really, really generous.
Yep. Okay, so this is my favorite one so far. Jackie Chan holding a baby asks, I'm going to linger on that for a second, does UE4 support network destructible environments out of the box?
Right, so I believe that we can say this object has been destroyed, and that event can be replicated, but the actual effect of the object being destroyed, that's going to be on the client side. So if you had two people sitting next to each other playing the game, and someone blew up a pillar, that pillar might look different in its destruction on each screen, but it will be destroyed at the same time.
Yep. Okay, so we've got Almighty Thunder. Is there some kind of system for multiple people working on the same level, such as layers in CryEngine?
Right, so CryEngine has a cool feature where I think you can have multiple people working on stuff and it updates real time. We don't have that, but what we do have is you can actually set up a streaming level. And then one of the really cool things that we didn't really mention earlier was that if you've used Unreal Engine 3, we've moved away from packages. Packages were basically these folders of all of the assets that you could put in there. So you could say, we have a folder for all of our environmental assets, and that is all the meshes, all the materials, any effects, sounds, whatever. And it can be really heavy. And the problem is that when someone has that package checked out in source control, no one else can work on it. And that was a workflow issue for sure. What we've gone to is that every single asset that you import into the engine is its own package, essentially. So if someone wants to work on the material, they just check out the material. It doesn't slow us down at all. So the same thing applies to maps, is that you can create a map, a streaming map that actually loads in other levels, and those levels then can be worked on by different people and checked out individually.
Yes. So let's see. Naman, does UE4 support multiplayer?
Absolutely, UE4 supports multiplayer. I think actually the shooter game actually probably comes with multiplayer support, I do believe, because I think I've played it. But
well, you've played that other game that does the multiplayer. Oh yeah, Fortnite. That supports multiplayer.
It's definitely supported. Everything's there. There's no like hidden modules that you're not getting that we're using at work. I mean, everything that we're using is here in the engine.
Mm-hmm. So does, this is from Mind11, does UE4 have a touch system?
I'm assuming you mean more like a mobile touch, and yeah, it totally does. We actually have a really cool demo that ships with the Unreal Engine 4 subscription. It's our mobile demo, and it's called Soul. And you can actually see here in the engine once it gets loaded up that when I play in the editor, it actually does the click support, so I'm touching the screen. If we were to build to iOS, we'd actually get the tap support already. Let's go ahead and open the level. And this level is gorgeous, by the way, and seeing it run on the iPhone is ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, seeing it run in a browser is fantastic.
So here, I'm just clicking, which would be the same as me tapping on the screen. And my mouse.
Hate you so much, mouse.
I know.
Hate you.
There we go.
Yeah, seeing this specific, the Soul is what we have playing in HTML5.
Yeah, yeah.
And it is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, it's really, really awesome. But yeah, we totally have touch support. It's all built in. You can take a look at what we're doing here in this demo and check it out.
Cool. Okay, let's see. We've got from, Zayon. Sounds good. Is it true that UE4 has the capability to allow 2 or more users to work on the same project seamlessly while updating in real time?
No, I think that kind of echoes
goes back to that
the
other
CryEngine question.
Yeah.
And not quite in that way, but again, because everything is split up into its own asset, someone could be working on the animation tree or the animation blueprint for the character while someone else is working on the materials for the character, while someone else is updating the skeletal mesh. So in that way, yes, you can. But in terms of, you'd still have to check in your change, and they would have to sync and get that change.
Yeah. And so let's see. Twitchy Smoke, what kind of GUI framework is used in UE4?
That's actually pretty awesome. It's a custom language that was written by one of our programmers. Actually, a couple of our programmers worked on it, but Nick Adamus wrote it. It's called Slate. The whole engine UI is done in Slate. Our game interfaces are done in Slate. And all that source code is there, so you can take a look at it. In fact, let me see if I can find it, because it's really, really cool.
Are you going to show the things?
Developer Tools Widget Reflector. So you can pick a widget. Let's pick, so as I hover over things, we can actually see all of the Slate commands that are being used for that particular widget. And so if I go over, let's see, click that. And now we can actually see this, and we can open up the C++ right there. We can just click on it and open it up. So we actually have some really cool tools in here. You're like, how the hell do you do this details panel, and how do you do all this stuff? I want to make my own editor tool that has some stuff. You can actually just turn on the widget reflector and go through here and see exactly what's being called. It's really, really awesome.
It is awesome. Pop on the hood and just seeing like exactly what is being reflected as you mouse over it.
I think that's all we have right now. Anyone that asked a question that we answered, we're going to be contacting you and getting you some swag. So swag. So yeah, we got some pretty awesome shirts and bracelets and stuff. So yeah, I think that's all we have.
So we're good stuff. Yeah, you'll get a t-shirt like, you won't get this one because it kind of smells bad at this point.
Right.
But we got more and all of the other stuff too. So thank you guys so much. This has been absolutely phenomenal. We have enjoyed all of the stuff. If you have any other questions, there's a ton of ways to get in touch with us.
Yeah, you can go to the launcher, check out the community forums, the Answer Hub, the wiki. Yeah, definitely get in touch with us, and hopefully you get a chance to check out the new Unreal Engine 4.
Very cool. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, we could show the. You want to show the rigging tools or anything?
Dude, show your tools.
Coming out, but we also ship the animation and rigging tools that we use internally.
Yeah.
I've been working on these for a few years, and I'm going to continue working on them. There's going to be a lot of new stuff added. I'll just go through it real quick. We actually have a video of it on our YouTube. These are for Maya. they're written in Python. The source code is given, so you're able to modify or do whatever you want. And once you have them installed, which is a very simple process, you can go up to Epic Games menu, and there's basically two tool sets. There's the character rigging tool set, and then there's the animation tool set.
Ah, okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Sorry guys, didn't mean to make you think we were leaving. That was our fault.
Yeah, so we're showing off the animation and rigging tools that come with Unreal Engine 4.
Yeah.
So if you get the subscription, you'll also get the same animation tools and rigging tools that we use internally.
Yep. These are huge. This is what we use. This is what we're using right now to create all of our content inside of Fortnite.
Yeah. So we ship this with Unreal Engine 4. It's for Maya. It's all written in Python. It's completely open source code, so you can go check it out, modify it, do whatever you want. And once you have it installed, there's basically two tool sets. There's the rigging tool set, and then there's the animation tool set. So if I go to Character Rig Creator, this is basically where you can set up what bones your character has. And I try to make this as simple as possible so that rigging was no longer a bottleneck. On previous projects, rigging was always sort of, animators were waiting on rigs. And that's a big deal because every moment counts. So we made this so simple that literally we have animators building their own character rigs. So once you set up your character skeleton preferences here, and you go to skeleton placement, you actually get a mannequin. Now the mannequin is there so that if you don't have final art assets yet, or if you just want a prototype, you can actually just use the mannequin, reposition it, reproportion it, do whatever you want, and start out with something that, when we used it a lot on the Fortnite body types.
Well, that's actually what I was about to talk about. We had concept art and development, but as anybody knows, it's like the moment from going from concept art to actually in-game assets, it takes a while. That's
months.
There's work to be done. And with Jeremy's tools, we were able to take the concept art, and he's going to show you some awesomeness where you can go through and manipulate all aspects of the mesh and get a fair representation, at least silhouette-wise, of what your finished project's going to be. And as far as animation goes, like there's always talk, we always talk about gray boxing. It's getting in and iterating as soon as possible. And it's not always possible to do for a long time with all aspects of production. And animation's been one of them, especially getting the characters. And with this, you can give somebody who isn't a modeler, who isn't a rigger, the tools to look at the art asset, say, okay, these are what my proportions are going to be, this is roughly what it's going to be like, and start actually getting a fair representation of what it's going to look like. If you've got a third-person camera, if you've got a first-person camera, you know, you can go ahead and start making adjustments. You can start creating animation content, and the great thing about it is when you actually get your finished geometry, and you put it on that skeleton. You know, obviously there's always going to be times when there might be some tweaking that needs to be done, but it is, you really don't have to have scrapped content, right? Like you are fine. This is a great way to layer on top as things move through the pipeline. So.
Yeah, it was huge in Fortnite because we got to test out the different body types and what kind of maybe what kind of consequences would come from retargeting. Like, is the retargeted animation going to look good on our big guy? Instead of wasting you know, a month of an artist's time creating the model and then finding out, no, this totally doesn't work. We spent 20 minutes getting a mannequin in there and we're like, yep, totally works.
Works.
We're good to go.
Love it. Camera looks right.
So yeah,
gameplay looks good.
Definitely pretty huge. The other thing about this mannequin is this is basically what I call the joint mover. So at this stage, you're placing your skeleton, even though the middle mouse button's all weird.
Hate you, mouse. We're going to go Thunderdome. It's going to be you and this mouse going in and just you coming out.
But anyway, there's a bunch of tools here for placing your skeleton. You can do symmetry, so real time. As I move movers on one side, I'm mirroring them over to the other side. We can do aim mode, which means that as I move a child, the parent stays aimed at it, which is helpful. If I close off aim mode, that will get baked down to the movers again. Then I can symmetry that over. And go ahead and reset all that. There's different ways to move too. So right now we're using global move mode, which is if I select the top of the arm, I'm moving everything down the arm. But I can also select offset move mode, which means I'm actually just grabbing only that joint and moving it and repositioning it. This
And
is really
it's not
powerful.
propagating anything down the
Right,
hierarchy.
right, and this is really powerful when you have aim mode on, because I just want to move this elbow back, and now my upper arm's already aimed at it, and I don't have to do that tweak anymore. And then what Matt was talking about was the ability to change how this mannequin looks, and there's a couple ways to do that. We have mesh mode. Actually, first of all, I'll just go ahead and I'll scale them down.
So you got the icon for the physique thing. You actually went and took a picture of Grayson, didn't you?
No, that's me.
That's,
No. So we can scale things up globally, and obviously that's going to affect the geometry as well, but we can go into mesh mode and just affect the mesh. This doesn't affect joint placement at all. We're just affecting the mesh. But even further is we can go into physique mode and really, really kind of fine tune our character, so we can like give them a huge neck.
This was awesome. Dude, when you put this in and what we were able to start doing with the body types, it was ridiculous, like how close we were able to get on all
Yeah,
of them.
especially,
Especially the
I wish I
silhouette.
had some of the Fortnite.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I would
Oh,
even be allowed to show it, but
when we can, we will.
yeah.
We'll show all of the stuff because it really shows the strength of the tools.
But yeah, so in here you can do everything. Every single piece of the mesh is customizable. I'm going to go ahead and back out of this and reset. And then once you've kind of placed your skeleton or you've prototyped your character out, you just go to deformation setup, create your T-pose, which is a lot of times what happens with us is we'll get a model that's in a great pose for the modeler to model in or to texture in, but it's not the ideal pose for us to rig in or animate with. And so we can actually store multiple reference poses. So we can have the model pose still, we can have our T-pose, and it goes ahead and it actually automates that process for us, so it can get us started. We can go ahead and hit save. And then if we don't actually have our model yet and we are just going to use this prototype mesh, we can say, go ahead and skin weight that for us too. And so now our mesh is actually skin weighted to our final skeleton. There's our final skeleton over here, it's nice and clean. And when I was talking about the different reference poses, we can go to Reference Pose Manager and say, I want to see the rig pose, I want to see the model pose. And then we can go ahead and build our control rig. So we can choose our project, give it a character name, and we can actually do a PostScript. So you can go ahead and add like Mel or Python at the end to do any additional tweaks that you'd like to do. Go ahead and build. I'm going to use the existing icon. Actually, you know what? I'm going to not use the existing icon. I'm going to do a new character. We'll do Mannequin 2. So you can create your character icon, and you can go back and edit this too. It's fun to do like really nice art once you have nice art. And then that's it. Builds a control rig in like 10 seconds. And that's it. And it tells you exactly what got built, what files were created. You can go and browse to them so you can check them into your Perforce. Or if you had source control activated, which we actually do have settings to turn on source control, which we do not have Perforce on this machine. But so yeah, you can go ahead and actually just drag all that into Perforce or submit. And now let's go ahead and actually get to the animation tools. So we added a character for animation. We can check out our different characters that we've chosen. We've got our rig. We've got our animation UI. Is there anything you want to talk about? You use this a lot more than I do.
Oh, dude, no, I love this. Like everything is solid. One of the great things about it is you have a consistent set of tools across all of your characters, and so with that, you know, those of us that have been in the industry for a while as animators, we know we don't always necessarily get consistency. You know, you might have one user interface with one character and one with something else. And with this, it's like, you know what you're getting every single time, and you get to play to the power of that, and it works really well. But all of the tools, like we have all of the great tools that Jeremy's like kind of going over with the mouse is, you know, you have export, you have export and import, and you know you can export your FBXs to bring into the assets, but you can also export animation if you want to save that and bring it in to another file. You also have a pose library, which is
the pose library is awesome.
Pose library is great, and
not saying that I'm awesome. I'm just saying I was happy with it.
I was happy.
I'm happy
with
when
it.
the animators are happy. So here we've got a bunch of partial hand poses, so we can just click them. Let's go for something a little bit more drastic, so we can actually see it. But I want that on the left hand, so I can just go ahead and right click and do load mirrored. Now it's over there.
Bam.
But let's check out, oh, is that all I have? I only have hand poses. No, that's okay, we will make a pose.
Why you hate me?
I'm so used to having all this content at work.
Oh yeah.
This is going to be a really awesome pose. It's going to blow your mind. This is what happens when the
So yeah, I'm not
technical
worried about job
animator.
security. Not worried about job security right now.
You got
Good.
this. All right, so we can. That's our pose. It's really, really awesome. We can go ahead and save that pose. Create our thumbnail. We can put it in a category, so let's add a new category. We'll call this awesome poses.
Very descriptive.
Yeah. And test, because that's always a good name. And now we have our pose. So if we go ahead and we actually reset this guy, we zero them all out. We click on the button, we get our pose. We right click on the button, we can actually load it onto selected controls. We can load a mirrored version of that pose. Bam. Ghost pose is my favorite thing I've ever created, I think. It loads a ghost of the pose, which is basically a mesh that you can position and rotate, and then whenever it's where you want it to be, you hit snap and your rig snaps to that location. And you can do the same thing with a mirrored version of the ghost pose. Space switching.
Yep.
Space switching is basically our way of not having to deal with constraints. It's really easy to create custom spaces, and the tools come with a bunch of spaces automatically. Like we can put the chest into chest IK world align, which means that as I move my body, the chest comes with, but as I rotate, it stays world aligned. I know that some of the guys really like that. Match over frame range, ISO selections. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here, and it's all documented on docs.unrealengine.com. So you can check it out. We've got some YouTube videos of it.
Yeah, one of the great things is you can have, like, we'll use the exact same rig on multiple body types, but then you have the opportunity to go in and add leaf bones. Like if you have to have like any kind of physics bones, leaf bones, any kind of custom stuff that you need that might live with one and not the other, is
I totally forgot to talk about the...
Why you no talk about the leaf bones?
So custom rig modules, these will be expanded over time. We definitely want to add more. This will be where face rigging gets added, and crazy things like pistons or hind legs or whatever. At the simplest level, we have leaf bones, which are just, I want to have a bone for my eye or my jaw, and so I can add that. We have jiggle bones, which are leaf bones that have built-in physics simulations. And we also have joint chains. So I could do a ponytail. I could choose how many bones are in that chain, and then I could choose a parent for that. These are editable as well. So at any time, that's one of the things I didn't talk about either. At any time we can go back through. The animation could be like done on a character, but they want a tweak to the joint placement.
Yeah.
We can go back to the joint creation file and tweak that. The weights get saved out, re-imported, and the reference gets updated, so all the animations are now have that update.
Yeah.
And we use that a lot because we do, as the animators are working, we find little things that like, it would be better if this was here or this was here, or we had a bone for this. And so that's one of the things that you can do is you can edit at any time. You're not locked in once you've created this.
Yeah, iteration is huge. Anytime that you can go through, make adjustments, and not necessarily lose all of the work that you've put in up to that point is big. And these tools let us do a ton of stuff.
So we got our ponytail. We're in the joint mover phase at this point. And as you can see at the top, it's set up like a browser, so we can go back to skeleton creation, or we can go forward to deformation. And you can do this at any time. You can just edit your export file and go back and forth. So I'll go ahead and create the rig pose. I'll just blast through this stuff since we've seen it. And let's go ahead and build the control rig. Awesome, and you can see it says edit rig file, so that's where we could go in and actually make those tweaks. If I add our awesome test character.
Bam.
So our ponytail comes in with FK joints. It comes in with spline IK joints, but coolest of all, comes in with dynamics. Let's check my settings and make sure I have play every frame on. Maya's, there we go. And then let's check our settings here. Yeah, and that's one of the things I was actually really happy with is as you're posing the character, the dynamics try to basically show you what that frame is going to look like as you're posing. And then you can, because this is actually Maya's hair system, you can actually use all the fields like gravity, turbulence, and all that kind of stuff. But,
Good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff, but I think that.
No, the tools are awesome, dude.
Well,
like,
thank you.
You can just little bromance here on this, but I dig all of them. They're
Cool.
super cool. So, yeah. At
Do you
this
have any
point,
more questions or anything?
we got any questions? No.
All right.
We're good?
Well, thank you so much for tuning in.
We're
really appreciate it.
we're really going this time. So, so thanks, guys. Like we said, we've got all the resources. If you have any questions, there's the forums. There's all of the things. Yeah, we can't wait for everybody to get their hands on this. This is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot. You guys
Thank you.
take care.